What's going on, guys? Sparrow here today, and well, you guys have been asking me, a lot of you have been asking me actually, about the whole situation that I recently just had an EEG test, and a lot of you are curious on, what happened and what was, the results of it. Am I okay? Blah, 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 all that stuff. Well, I'm gonna try and explain this as well as I can in terms that you guys will understand, seeing there's a lot of heavy terms in this entire situation. But let's just say that you guys are gonna like the news. So, if you guys don't know, I went down for what was supposed to be a 5-day stay in the hospital doing another EEG test. This is the same thing that I basically had, this is basically the same thing I had only like about a month ago, but it wasn't ambulatory, which ambulatory means basically I am, up and doing my own thing. This one, I was stuck in a hospital pretty much. So yeah, I was in a hospital bed for only 2 days. This was supposed to be like a 5-day stay, and the only reason we were going into this was to basically prove the doctors wrong that the semi-monitoring system was not going to work, because they thought that I was having seizures at night and I was seizing, like someone does in a normal seizure, normally. Like shaking convulsively and, just not a fun time. But in my case, it is much more different. At night, I am very, very still. I don't move at all. I am someone who really doesn't really move in their sleep. And let's just say the party, which would be the seizure activity, is going on inside of the head, not outside. So my seizures are completely undetectable at night unless you have something that can monitor what is going on inside of the head, coming from the source, which is the occipital lobe, which is basically my vision tract. So yeah, it was completely undetectable with this semi-system, and it really was depressing for us. But I had to stay in the hospital and have these electrodes glued to my head, which was not fun. It was itchy as hell, especially by the 3rd day that I was in the hospital. But let's just say that during the stay, it was actually a really good stay. All the nurses were really, really nice, very understanding, respectable. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that I had to have a freaking needle put into my stomach fat every fucking 24 hours. But on the first day, one of my doctor's, ace, assistants came in and basically told me that I could have these compressing things on my ankles instead of this needle, and I'm like, thank God, because that was going to be a very big thing that I was not going to enjoy if I had to have a needle stuck into my fucking stomach every 24 hours, especially if it was 5 days. But the entire time I was there, I really thought it was not going to be fun, but it wasn't that bad. I had my tablet, I had my computer, I had my phone, I had basically electronics galore. The TV was rarely ever on, except for when my parents came to visit, or if I was bored. Like the first night I watched The Lord of the Rings before going to bed, and yeah, it was a pretty fun time. Not really, but because I had to call the nurse every time that I, had to go to the bathroom or something like that. And if you guys don't know me, I don't like to ask people for things. I prefer to, keep to myself and just do the thing myself. But that's just me. So, on to other things. So, the food that I had was pretty damn good, actually. The first night I had 2 pizzas. They doubled up everything, because I was on, like, a high protein list, which means that I am a patient who needs more protein than what they normally serve, which would be 1 pizza and, a soda pop, bread. Yeah, you guys get it. And I am a heavy eater, so it may not look like it, but I am a heavy eater. So the first night was 2 pizzas, a Pepsi, and I can't remember what else. I think a roll. The second night, I really enjoyed this dinner, and if I ever go back for another EEG, I am definitely going to be asking for this. It was like some sort of chicken with like a very special type of sauce on it. It was really good, actually. Especially when I dipped it in the potatoes and gravy that came with it. It was really good, actually. So, I was actually surprised that I liked the hospital food. And the third night, well, the third dinner, when I was released, was lasagna, which my dad ate because I was tired of hospital food by that time. But that just goes to show you, I did not suffer while I was in hospital. I was actually very well taken care of, monitored very well, and yeah, it was a pretty decent stay. I would prefer my bed, but whatever. So, yeah, that was pretty much the whole thing about the hospital. But on the third day, my doctor came in at about 6 o'clock in the evening, and she told me that, some updates on what was going on, and she said to me, "Do you want to go home?" And immediately I was completely, and I mean completely shocked, because this is only the second day, and I was supposed to be in here for 5 to 7 days. And this is only the second day, and she's allowing me to go home. So, yeah, I asked my doctor more on the situation and, asked her if she was absolutely positive that she had enough information for me to go home, and she said yes. So I asked her, what is the ratio of how many seizures I was having at night? And if you guys don't know, about a month ago, my seizure activity at night was so bad that it was leading to me possibly dying from SUDEP, which stands for sudden unexplained death in epilepsy. So, yeah, I was at high risk of dying in my sleep from a seizure that I couldn't even control in my sleep. That was why we got the semi, because we thought it could detect those things, but it is only a motion-sensitive camera, so it's completely useless pretty much. Well, in just 1 month of adding the oil that I told you guys about to my actual medication, my doctor had witnessed a miracle, because in 1 month's time, 1 month, my seizure activity at night had went from possibly being fatal to nothing more than something that couldn't even be considered a seizure. My doctor said I only had one cluster, which is just a series of seizures in one series. It's just a small episode. It doesn't last long. I was awake for this. It was about 11 p.m. on the second night. I was awake for this and pushed the button that they give me, and yeah, it was just an unexpected cluster. So she told me that's really the only big amount of seizures that I had the entire time I was there. But she said my nighttime seizures have fallen from a fatal level to a much more controlled level, which is absolutely, and I mean absolutely, relieving. It is great news. This means that my seizures at night are now controlled. They are not to the point of where I am going to not wake up at night, or wake up the next morning. I don't have to worry about SUDEP. And she told me, stay on this oil. Whatever you are doing, you are basically doing something right. And the SUDEP is being controlled because of this oil, along with the medications that I do take. So, yeah, this news had me completely almost in tears. So, as soon as I was sure, I called my mom and I let her know, and I told her that I could go home, and they came and got me. But right when my doctor left, I got out of my bed, got on my knees. As soon as the electrodes were removed, I went over and sat on a couch that was, right next to the window in the room. And I prayed to God for 5 minutes straight, letting him know, thank you for giving me the strength to fight this long. These are the answers that we have been waiting for 11 fucking years. 11 years of fighting so hard to what we thought was almost not even a worthy cause of fighting anymore. Especially after the last EEG, we find out that my nighttime seizures were to the point of where they could possibly kill me. Now 1 month later, they are absolutely under control. as long as I keep taking this oil along with the medication that I am taking, I am pretty much safe. And I can live a somewhat normal life. Oh god, I'm getting emotional. It was absolutely, and I mean completely, it was news that we had been waiting for forever. And I pretty much got down onto my knees and prayed to God for 5 minutes, letting him know, thank you for, giving me the strength to last this long, giving me parents that were willing to fight with me for 11 years, family that is able to support me for this long, to keep me going, to keep me this powerful, to keep me this positive. Because I went into this not negative, not thinking that anything bad was going to happen. I tried to never go into negative thoughts, because that's weakness, and I don't want to feel weak. So, I pretty much kept this positive attitude the entire time I was there. I didn't ever think negative, and I can't believe it. We have always gotten negative news in the end, but this time we finally got this goddamn good news that we have been waiting for 11 years. And my doctor told me flat out and bluntly that there is nothing else that she can do. There's literally nothing else that she can do to, stop these seizures from getting any worse, or, stopping them any further. She told me to just keep taking the oil, to keep, taking my medication along with it, and she said I should be absolutely fine and not have to even worry about the seizures at night. This was absolutely riveting news, and unbelievably, it had me emotional. I almost cried when she was in the room with me, and I was just completely and utterly shocked at how much this CBD oil had actually worked. It saved my life. It absolutely saved my life. Without this oil, I would have never gotten to this point. Never. I would still be taking harsh medications. I would still be afraid to go to sleep at night. But now, I'm not afraid to sleep at night, guys. That video where I broke down to you guys, telling you not to judge me because I take, a hemp oil, that was my literal breaking point. And now, I can't help but smile. I can't help but thank the Lord for giving me the strength to fight this long, and the people to fight with me this long. This is absolutely great news, and now I know I'm safe to sleep at night. I am not afraid to go to sleep. I am beyond happy. I mean, I couldn't explain the emotions that I felt when my doctor told me that everything was going to be just fine, and she was absolutely 100% sure that my seizure activity was at a controlled level. So this means I'm not going to ever be seizure free. I will never be seizure free, but if it just comes to that, and I have to just keep taking these medications and this oil, I will take this oil and I will live this life to the fucking fullest. I don't give a shit if I don't ever drive. I don't give a shit if I ever, don't get to do things that normal 22, almost 23-year-olds get to do. I don't give a shit. If I get the will to stay alive and to live longer, a long, healthy, productive life, I'll take it. If it just means I have to take this CBD oil and keep taking these medications to live a normal, somewhat life, I will. And I repeat, I will continue to live this life. I don't give a crap if I don't get to do things that normal, people my age would get to do. I don't care if I never get to do them. I really don't. I just want to live. I want to live a normal life, and now I get to. Thanks to this oil, and these medications, and this will to fight for this goddamn long. It is a fight that I never thought I was going to win, but now I can proudly say I've beaten this sucker, along with the help of my parents and all of my loved ones. And you guys as well. You guys really helped me to get through this. And the support that you guys showed me during that entire video, telling me that it's going to be okay, don't cry, vent, don't be afraid to vent. That was absolutely great, especially in a time of need like that, when I was in desperate need of something. I needed a positive attitude. I need to get back on my feet. I was at a breaking point. I was lost. I didn't think I was going to win. But now I know for sure I am safe. I can sleep at night and not be afraid of not waking up that next morning. I can live a normal life. A somewhat normal life that I will take to the fullest. I don't give a fuck if I'll never drive. I don't give a crap if I'll never do things that normal people my age get to do. I don't care. I just want to live a normal life. A somewhat normal life that will assure me a long, happy, productive life. That's all I wanted. And I got it, guys. So this EEG revealed the answers we've been looking for 11 long years. And finally, we are sure we have, solid proof that I'm safe. And that the CBD oil does indeed work miracles. It helps you. It can save your life. It saved my life. I was speechless. And I can't believe just how much had gone down. My seizure activity at night had went from fatal to non-fatal in just 1 month of taking CBD oil along with my medications. That was it. I was at a breaking point, guys, and I found the answer. I was speechless. I had finally kicked this sucker in the fucking ass. And I said in that video that I was going to kick it in the ass, and I have kicked it in the ass. Sure, I'll never be seizure-free, but I don't care. It's under control now. It's at a safe level. I'll take this life and live it to the fullest. So, in the end, this was the best EEG that I could have possibly ever gotten done, because it was worth it. I got the answers I've been looking for 11 freaking years. It wasn't fun, but it was worth it. And for that, I thank the Lord. I thank all of you, and I thank every one of my loved ones for their support in this battle. But at long last, it has been won, and we have succeeded in the battle that we said we were never going to give up, and nearly did, but we kicked it in the ass. So for that was the results, guys. That was basically the results. It was the answers that I've been looking for what seems like ages. But in the end, it was finally worth it. We got it. We got this sucker kicked in the ass, and this battle is finally over. We finally have the proof. We have a solid cure, somewhat cure, that can control these seizures at night. And thank God for this, for putting this plant on the earth and allowing it to do wonders to people. I know a lot of people who have been touched by this oil. And if I have to just keep taking my medication and this oil, I will take it. I will. Because if it assures me a long, productive life, I will take it. So thank you guys so much for your support and everything, and that was basically the results. And without you guys, I would have never made this far. Without my parents, I would have never made this far. I would be probably dead if I would have never gone this far. So thank you all for watching, and I hope that this was put into terms that you would understand. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care until next time, and happy horrors.